Hi, Andrew here from You.InControl. This is the Motor Controller Quick Start Guide video. Here we have a motor controller setup. We've got our motor controller, we've got our motor, a remote used in an example later on, and we've got our main controller. So the motor controller, what have we got? We've got power coming in between 7 and 30 volts DC. We've wired up our motor, and we've also wired up our two limit switches. First thing we're going to do is we're going to pair our motor controller to the controller. So how do we do that? On the controller, go to Devices, Add Device, enter the pairing code found on the back of the controller, using the left and the right buttons to go across, using the rotary dial to change the character if needed. Next, here's where we're going to pair our device. So our device is powered. We can see that the device has a blue flashing light, which means it's ready to enter a pairing mode. We're going to press the device system button, and then we're going to press induct on the controller. Induction success. Let's go to the device. Right, here we have our motor controller page on the controller. So let's activate our device, and here is where we need to set up the speed and for each direction on the for the motor. So for direction A, let's say we want it to be full speed, so we're going to set it to 255. Direction B, we want it to go a bit slower, so let's set it to 100. And let's get it going. Cool. So if you want to do, you can test it on the controller, or you can actually do test on the motor controller as well. So you'll see these buttons here and test. So when we press these buttons, we can actually test the direction of the motor to make sure it's all working. The other thing you'll notice is our two limit switches. So when I've got one powered up, I've wired it up so that any limit switch that comes in from the A direction, so this is the limit switch for A, whenever this is pressed or triggered, the power will be cut instantly to the motor controller, which is pretty neat. So it doesn't matter what's going on, it'll just cut power straight away. And why a limit switch is good. Imagine you have the motor controller set up for your garage door or some auto gate. You're supplying power, but if there's anything that's gonna get in the way, or your motor opens up all the way, you can actually have limit switches set to instantly stop the motor from continuing to push through whatever obstacle might be in the way. So we've got our motor controller working. Now we want to use the remote to control our motor, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to go back to our devices page, to the remote that we've paired, and I'm going to set up an action on a single press on the left button. Now we're going to scroll all the way down, and I'm going to turn on motor toggle. Cool. So with this, we can either use the button to turn it on and turn it back the other way and off, or alternatively, say you had something and you needed to hit the limit switch, or your motor got to the limit switch, it'll just turn off instantly if it hits that. What if we want to set our motor to run for a certain amount of time? We're going to add an action and select motor on time. Select the motor, whatever direction you choose, and the time. Let's do 5 seconds. That was just a quick example of how you can set up and use the motor controller. For more information, be sure to check out the user manual on our website. Until then, happy tinkering.